Hey, welcome to Sipper Social Club. I'm Jeremy, and tonight I will be counting down my favorite releases from the Laphroaig Cairdeas lineup, plus reviewing the most newest edition, the Cairdeas Lore at Cask Strength. The normal Lore release uses maturation with ex-bourbon, quarter cask, and sherry cask. I'm assuming that this one is the same, although undisclosed, Cask Strength 59.6% ABV. As I'm nosing and tasting this release, I'll also be talking about where this ranks in my favorite Laphroaig Cairdeas releases I've ever had. I believe the Cairdeas lineup started way back in 2008. I didn't really get into it until 2013, and that's where I'm gonna start, because those are the ones that I've tried. Those are the ones I'm gonna rank using Tier Maker. This is also when Laphroaig started using the color coding for the labeling on the Cairdeas line. So starting in 2013 was the Portwood edition. Now this one was excellent. This is actually one of my favorites. There's a review of this on my channel. It is one of the most sought after ones on the secondary market. For me, this really kind of checked all the boxes. I think that port maturation, it's hit and miss, but usually when it's combined with something that's heavily peated, it's always a hit. Laphroaig really did a good job on this one. For me, this is a simple S tier. I think that this is one of the best ones I've tried, and it's going all the way at the very top for me. All right, next up in 2014, they didn't really have any creative thing to say about this one. It just was called Bottle 2014. This one I only had a sample of. Wasn't able to acquire bottle, but this one was matured in Amontillado. It was quite solid. Really did kind of like this one a bit. If memory serves me correctly, it didn't overwhelm you with sherry. It was kind of very well balanced with the peat. This one was very solid. I'm gonna have to go, this was an A for me. Really good stuff. All right, next up in 2015, this was their 200th anniversary bottling. I think the only thing special about this is they just used floor maltings, 100% floor maltings. Some distilleries do all floor maltings. It's kind of rare. Springbank, I think, is really one of the only few. Matured next bourbon cask. This one for me was just fine. There was nothing really super special about this one. It didn't really wow you. It was just kind of like a regular ex-bourbon matured Laphroaig. I think for me, for this one is going in the C. I don't think that this is one that you really gotta go out and kind of source or kind of try. It's nothing special. It's okay, it's fine. Maybe Laphroaig got some feedback that year, because the next year, 2016 Madeira Cask, this one was phenomenal. I also have a review of this bottle on my channel. This one for me is an easy S tier. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. One of the better Laphroaigs I think I've ever tried, and that's including trying their older expressions as well. This one was great. This one did have a large amount of that Madeira wine cask influence, and I think that it really shined through the peat and the medicinal notes and everything you get with Laphroaig Cairdeas. This one really ramped up the sweetness in a way that just kind of worked really well with the peat. I have this one reviewed on my channel. I think I scored it higher than the port, so I think I gotta put this in front of the port cask and the current top spot on the tier list. Getting into this Cairdeas Cask Strength Lore, I think on the nose you get something that you get with almost every single Laphroaig that I've tried, and that's this like crest kind of toothpaste note that I absolutely love. Lots of medicinal kind of smoke elements to this thing, and a really nice amount of vanilla's sweetness. Again, balancing all that out. On the palate, again, I get those like dinner mints, those like multicolored kind of charcoal, pastel dinner mints. Absolutely love that note. One of my absolute favorite things about drinking Laphroaig is I usually get that every single time. It's in here, it's so delicious. Good viscosity, super long finish, lots of heavy peat smoke, just a little bit of maybe that sherry cask influence coming in at the very end. Brings in a little bit of like fruit element to it. Really nice, really good so far. Back to the list. Okay, 2017, Laphroaig came out with a Cairdeas version of the quarter cask. Now, I was a big Laphroaig quarter cask fan. I always kind of had a bottle on the shelf of it. It was one of like my go-to pours when you want something super heavily peated. Loved the quarter cask. It was bottled, I think, a little bit higher ABV, the regular quarter cask 48. And I was thinking, oh my God, there's a cask strength version of this. It's gonna be so good. But then when I reviewed it and compared it to a regular quarter cask, I was not blown away. I didn't think it was actually better than the quarter cask. The Cairdeas version wasn't as good as the original. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to put this one in the C category. You know what? This has gotta go in the D. I don't think when you put out a release that's not as good as something in your core range, it can't be higher than a D in my opinion. This is kind of one to stay away from. Unfortunately, I was hoping for so much more from this. Didn't deliver. Again, maybe Laphroaig took some feedback. The next year they came out with something very, very nice, the Fino Cask. 2018's release, Fino Cask finish. I thought this one was really good. I do really like Fino Cask matured Scotch whiskies. I don't think enough distilleries do it. I think that you can do really, really good things with this. I thought that this Fino Cask one was really good. It's going up in the A, right next to the 2014 release. All right, next up, 2019. This Cairdeas release was a cask strength version of the Triple Wood. Triple Wood, I believe, actually pretty much the same as the Lore ex-bourbon quarter cask Oloroso sherry. This one was good. This one was actually really nice. I think on the podcast, Rob and I compared this. We went head-to-head, original Triple Wood versus the Cairdeas version. We both like the Cairdeas version more. Really, really solid stuff. Is it as good as the A tier things? I don't think so. I think it's a very solid B, but it was a very nice release. Really good one from Laphroaig. All right, moving into 2020, we had the Port and Wine Cask Cairdeas. Now, I was super excited about this one. Obviously, with the Port being one of my favorites in the past, the Port and Wine, I'm thinking we're gonna have something really nice here. And it didn't disappoint. I thought this one was very, very solid. Did it live up to the original Port? No, it didn't. It wasn't that close, but I thought this was very, very solid. I think in the rating scale, I'm gonna have to put this probably at the back of the A's. Really, really good. Doesn't touch the two in front of it, but it's that low A, high B kind of score for me right now. Going back to the Lore momentarily, the finish, getting all this like Christmas kind of spice now. Very, very spicy, peppery. There's a little bit like cinnamon spice there on the finish. Really, really nice stuff. Maybe that quarter cask maturation, bring in the spice. Really like it. Really nice. All right, 2021 brought the Cairdeas PX. Now, another one that we were super excited for. I remember thinking, all right, this is gonna be solid. Combination of a very sweet PX cask and like cask strength Laphroaig or high ABV Laphroaig is gonna be so good. I think this one was pretty solid as well. Where is it gonna rank? This is gonna be a tough one. Where is it gonna go? Is it better than the Port and Wine? I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to put it just behind it for now. Let's see. I think it's bottom A, top B. Again, I think it's almost the equivalent in enjoyment value for me as that Port and Wine, but I think the Port and Wine maybe just edges it just a touch for now. All right, 2022, Warehouse 1. Cairdeas Warehouse 1. So this is the warehouse that is closest to the ocean. It gets a little bit of that ocean spray hitting it. I think this one for me was a little bit of a disappointment. I didn't think there was anything special about it. I actually kind of thought that the medicinalness of Laphroaig, like that heavy, hard-hitting note, was kind of subdued in this one. I thought that it was a little lackluster. It wasn't a bad whiskey, it was fine. I just didn't think it delivered that well. I think for me, this one's gonna have to go into the C category because I don't think I'm ever rushing out to try this one again. All right, 2023, another one I was very excited about, White Port in Madeira. Now, of course, I have the Madeira cask, I have the Port cask as the S tier. White Port this time, still Madeira. Where's this gonna fall? This one for me, I mean, I think I overhyped it in my head just because thinking these are my two favorite cask maturations of Cairdeas of all time. What's the combo of the two gonna do? Now, it was solid. It was very solid. I had high hopes. I don't think those hopes delivered totally. It's good. It's gonna be an A. It's gonna be an A. I think it's gonna fit in probably right in the middle of the A. I thought it was very good. It's not getting up to a top A for me just because I think that it didn't quite deliver, but I thought it was very solid. Okay, 2024 came out with a cask favorite. So this one was interesting. I think they actually put a 10-year age statement on this. Aged 10 years and inspired by the Triple Wood, inspired by the PX releases. So I think you had a combination of a lot of different things going on with this one. This one was good. This one was pretty nice. Again, Did it blow me away? Is it getting up to the A tier? I don't think so. I think for me, this is a very solid B. Let's go right at the top of the B for that one. So I think that's a pretty good tier list. I'm pretty certain that I like the order of this right now. If there was going to be any adjustment, it would probably be these 3 in the A tier. Like I said, they're kind of like at the back of the A, the top of the B. I feel like you could probably interchange these. If I was sipping them head to head, I could probably move one up, move one down, but I think this is pretty solid. I was pretty harsh on the cask strength quarter cask, but honestly, I don't think that one was very solid. It was definitely the main miss of the ones I've tried. And that Madeira Cask one, I wish I had more of that because that was phenomenal. If you can source that one at auction, I would 100% pull the trigger on it. I bet you it's not as sought after as like the port one was, or even the previous ones. There's some crazy Laphroaig cartridges. If you look back, there's like a 30-year-old one. There's some crazy ones out there. But I think for bang for your buck, you find a Madeira Cask, you take it. Now, where does the newest Laphroaig Cairdeas lore fit into the tier? I think there's a solid amount of complexity on this. I think you're getting everything you want out of Laphroaig. Very strong, very impactful, very bold. I mean, it's coming in with a lot of intensity on the finish. Like I said, the spice, it kind of ramps up. That spice note on that finish is huge. Now, how does this compare to the regular lore release? Got a bottle of it here. Let's see what we got. Of course, the regular lore, 48% ABV. Quite expensive, so if I hazard a guess, it's not an age statement. I would say there's some older whiskeys in here, which is why the price is what it is. Way more subdued on the nose. Definitely some more citrus style of notes on the regular lore release. And honestly, quite different. Very different. I would say the comparison is quite drastic. More of a creamy texture. Don't get that like hard spice note. Still get that nice medicinal, but more citrus fruit. It's honestly nothing like it. These are both very different, but both pretty solid in their own respect. I think for me, the Cairdeas lore is probably would figure somewhere in the Bs. I think it's probably like a high B, probably interchangeable with the ones I have there. I don't think it's making the A tier. I don't think it's making the A tier. I think I would take all of those A's over this one. That being said, these are well priced in my neck of the woods. You know, pay like around $125 for it. I think for $125 Canadian dollars, a cask strength lore is always kind of worth it to buy it, to try it. But I think for me on this one, not living up to the hype of previous releases. So there you have it. Let me know in the comments down below. What is your favorite Laphroaig Cairdeas you've ever tried? I'd love to hear it in the comments down below. Disagree, agree with my tier list. I'd also love to hear the comments. Thanks so much for joining me, you guys. Really much appreciated. Have a good one. Cheers.